So we're live.
Wonderful. Well, hello.
Yes. Excellent. So we're starting up, um, getting this whole live stream figured out with a little bit of its wonderful delay. And yeah, welcome to our studios.
Here we are.
There's
Happy
Emma.
Friday.
It is Friday. This is our ninth episode. Can you believe it?
No, I feel like we just did our second one last week, but who's counting?
I know. Now we're on to the
Um,
ninth.
so for those of you who are joining us a little bit early,
Yes.
I've decided to work with ink this evening. Daphne, what are you going to be working with?
I am working with acrylic paint. Ooh, that reminds me, I don't have paintbrushes. Hold on 1 minute. One
So
second.
maybe
There
while
we go.
Daphne is getting her paintbrushes.
Got
Oh,
it.
are they shiny and new?
Um, some of them are newer. I try to use them so that they get used up and gravely. Oh, and just popped right off that one. Came right off.
No, it's always nice finding like fresh new brushes. It's like a special little treat. I just found a bunch a couple weeks back. So,
Yes, I love that feeling.
yeah, so I was going to say maybe while Daphne is getting her brushes, I can just talk a little bit about when I'm working with India ink. I'm just going to stop and restart this little guy here. When I'm working with India ink, I have these little glass bottles with these droppers in them that are super handy for transporting, but when you're using a dip pen, I find because the neck is more narrow than like the rest of the bottle, I'm constantly getting ink all over where my hands go. But this has been the best for not spilling when I open. This guy I used to use all the time, but with the screw top, ink always gets stuck in there, and then whenever you open it, it's an ink show all over your hands.
Well, and then it dries up, right? And then you get all the little flakes.
The little flakes go inside it, so
And then
I've avoided ever since.
if
Screw
any of
top
those
top.
flakes get moisture, then they either stick to stuff or they start to bleed out too, right?
Yeah,
Because it's resoluble?
yeah. Is
Yes.
it? I'm
Some
thinking.
is.
I don't know if this one is. If like for me, it's more about the little pieces get caught in the nib, or they like get on your page, and if there's a little bit that's wet, and you go to wipe it off, the part that is still wet. But no, because I've used India ink with watercolors, and if you give it time to like
Set.
set or cure or whatever, it
Then
doesn't
it's
get
good.
smudgy. But
Oh,
if you
okay.
work quickly, it does.
I could be wrong. I often am.
I think it depends. I
On
think
the
it depends
brand.
because there's India inks,
Yeah.
and then I don't know. You're making me question now. I know if it's still fresh and I
I
paint
don't
over it,
know.
it'll bleed.
Yeah.
But yeah, the in any case, that's a hot mess.
Well,
And to
can
be
we test it
avoided.
out tonight?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Then that's
Okay.
something that we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm working with acrylics and I'm probably going to stick to being very monochromatic. I've only picked three colors or three paints to use. Are you using a squirt bottle as well?
I just found my squirt bottle from Art Night, my crazy plant lady squirt bottle. Because this is all old dry ink in here, so I'm just gonna see
What you can do
what's gonna
to
happen
get it
if I
out?
try to. It's not. It's not. Yeah, like it's just being crumbly,
Oh, well, that's
even with
good.
water.
Cool. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like little inky sand.
Well, are you ready to start the show? Are you
Time
ready?
will tell. Let's see. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. All right. So, welcome to the Emma and Daphne Show. I'm Daphne Cote, professional artist and art instructor, and
I am Emma Wales, artist and art educator. Thank you for joining us this
yes.
wonderful Friday evening.
Yeah.
We are drawing Madonna tonight.
Yes, I'm so excited. Let's pop up the reference photo. There we
Yes.
go.
So we only just saw or knew which one this was going to be a couple minutes ago. We asked
Yes.
everybody on Instagram and Facebook to vote.
I was
So
so
sure.
shocked by how many people voted. So thank you so much. That was really cool,
Yeah.
and it really made my day. And I don't know about you, Emma, but tonight's Emma and Daphne show is like the highlight of my day. Like that's how I got through everything today. Was okay. I can do this because I get the Emma and Daphne show at the end of the day. So
It's like the chocolate treat at the end of
I know it'll be
the
worth
show.
it because I get to paint with Emma, see my buddy. It'll all
Oh,
be
totally.
okay.
Yeah, it gets me through the tough weeks.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Excellent.
I was really surprised that this was the reference image that was chosen, because on Instagram it was totally different. Like it was the second image we had up that was definitely taking the cake on Instagram.
Yes, and on Facebook, so if you guys haven't already picked up on it, Emma is in charge of the Facebook. So she does all of that. Or no, Instagram. She's doing Instagram. I'm doing Facebook. So if you're wondering who the heck you are messaging or sending comments to, sometimes I see them though. But I don't think Emma sees any of the ones on Facebook. It's not her thing. So
I can't. Facebook and I are just not really
gelling.
The extent of my Facebook interaction is when I'm on Instagram, I click the button that says share to Facebook, and that's how I Facebook.
Yes, and that's totally okay. Well, I think I'm fine with Facebook, and I enjoy it. So we just picked the ones that we enjoyed and went with it. Yeah,
I'm actually just going to open up the poll image on our Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, so if you want to check it out, the Emma Daphne Show on Instagram or the Emma and Daphne Show on Facebook, and you will see our posts probably in the stories, or even if you just look us up individually, whatever you've brought up on your social media there on your phone, you'll see that what we're looking at. So we had like 4 little squares, there's red numbers there, and yeah, so we were super happy that number 4 was picked. And
that's the one I was voting for. I don't know did you count what we wanted, or it was 100% up to everybody else?
It was 100% up to anybody else, and then it came close, and I'm like, damn it, I'm going to count our votes if this doesn't go my way, because it's so damn close. So the runner-up was number 2.
Yeah.
Hardly anybody voted for number 1, which is kind of weird, because
maybe that's because they've already seen that that's what we did for our art night.
Maybe, yeah, I'm hoping.
Or maybe just no one else liked it, just us.
That's right. But yeah, we absolutely love this image that was chosen, so I'm super excited about it. Can't wait to do it.
I love the angles. I love the lighting. I think it'll be super fun.
Yes.
I'm actually going to start to put down some shapes so I can start to play with my ink.
Are you doing that with a pencil?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I was really looking forward to working with India ink tonight, but realized I've never worked with it up with a dip pen. I've only ever worked with it flat on a table. So I don't know what that's going to be like. So I brought backup emergency Sharpies for some just in case.
Still working with ink, still within the constraints of the requirements. So, ooh, I lost the lid there for a minute. Sorry, that's where I went. It's behind the easel to find the lid.
Behind the easel. Yeah. Memoirs of an artist. It sounds like a novel.
We've been talking a lot about books this week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is our last show on portraits, but our last episode for this month that was on portraits. So you'll have to watch the next show to see what next month is all about. Or you could subscribe to our Patreon page. We post it there at the beginning of the week, the show notes, so that everybody's prepared and everything.
Yeah, so every month we have a different theme, and then each week will be in keeping with that theme. So obviously May was all about portraiture, and Daphne is like far and away the portraiture artist of the two of us. So we thought it would be...
portraiture nerd out of both of us. Yeah, figurative stuff is my jam.
Let her take the reins and talk all things portraiture. And so if anybody watching or in the comments after this video, if it's no longer live, please let us know if you have any questions or thoughts or would like to hear more about any of this, because we would love to include that in our show, either this episode or next.
Yes. So I absolutely love portraits. I don't know. I love studying people. I think that's where it comes from. And I really love the whole like Madonna thing. And we did an art night that was inspired by Andy Warhol that used images of Madonna. And I think maybe that's because she looks a lot like Marilyn Monroe, which I just finished painting here. This is an oil though.
Was that the video you were talking about earlier today that you needed to, or yesterday, I think?
Yes. Yeah. So I was
that looks great.
I'm putting together an instructional video on doing that. So, but I think that's why, I don't know, I've got like dark eyebrows on my brain. I also have dark eyebrows. But yeah, I just like love studying people. Maybe it's, I don't know, try to understand people, what makes people tick, and doing portraiture has kind of led me in that direction, I guess. So I'm using acrylics, and I keep spritzing my palette to keep them wet. I'm using a black, a white, and then quinacridone magenta. Yeah, so it's gonna be like a pinky pink.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna go in and start painting. And normally I start with the hair, but it's hard to find the hair in this. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really blown out.
Yeah, it's really white. So, well, maybe I should just paint it. White. And then I typically use the hair as a container for the face, like finding where everything goes. I do the eyebrows really high up. Okay, watch me as I trash the whole thing.
I just want to say that I am so proud of us for figuring out how to make the YouTube video. For those of you watching at home, you'll notice Daphne is no longer mirrored. She actually looks right-handed now.
I am right-handed. Fooled ya. Yeah, that's what my kids would say. I've been at home with kids for too long. That's what they would say. Okay, let's try this again here. Try to get this whole face shape going. I want to get the hair in, but I really like the long neck too. And
yeah, her neck looks like it goes on for days in this.
Yeah. Yeah, I was painting with oil paint, and now I'm switching to acrylics, which is a little bit of a different thing, different beast.
Do you often go back and forth between using acrylics and oils, or do you tend to kind of go in like ebbs and flows of one or the other?
I used to when I taught every week.
The good old
The
days.
good old days
We used to be allowed to
when
be in rooms with other people and share materials.
and paychecks.
Really, though. Like,
You remember
I laugh,
those
but it's not
things
funny.
once upon a time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna experiment and see how this is gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna.
What aren't you gonna use?
Oh, so to go back to my little point earlier, so I was talking about the ink bottles that have a more narrow neck than the rest of the vessel,
Right.
and how ink will often get on my pen when I use those, how I really dislike the screw tops because it flakes off, it gets stuck in there, it's impossible to open without making a big mess. So my happy medium that I found for actually, and now I have water in here, for actually using is I found these little containers that just have these like pop on and pop off lids, which
Okay, yeah.
it's great as a vessel and it's slightly less messy than the screw top. It's just I worry if they ever tilt on their side, but so far I think these are one of my favorite to work out of. They're just not quite as clean to open and close as the other screw tops.
Gotcha.
So in any case, that's what's happening tonight. Do you ever work with ink, Daphne?
I draw with ballpoint pens in my sketchbooks all the time.
Yeah.
They're my favorite for taking notes, but I don't know. I think that I had used them so much in university that maybe it's kind of like it's lost its, I don't know, appeal. Yeah, that's probably the best word for it.
I think I'm just gonna go for it. We'll see if if it holds up working upright like this.
I was watching on Instagram today a watercolor painter who was painting upright, and a lot of watercolor painters I know work upright.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've seen watercolor artists that like have their work at a slight angle.
Yeah.
But I don't know
I've seen
anybody
that
who actually
too.
paints like right up.
Yeah, I've seen demos given that way too, where it's right up. Yeah, so
I'm getting crazy deja vu. Daphne and I just refilmed our Madonna art night, so we have spent a lot of time with each other this month on Zoom calls, painting and drawing Madonna.
Yes, quite a few. But it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been for sure.
Good thing we both like Madonna and painting.
And each other.
And each other, yes.
Not to forget.
It was funner with you. I don't think that I would have had as much fun if it was just me by myself.
Oh no, absolutely not. I'm not one for the whole like online virtual learning thing though. I'm trying out of necessity, but I can't wait for in-person stuff.
Yes, I've been having meetings and stuff like that about what to do when potentially things start to open up a bit more for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, online is an interesting way to go. There's been lots of wonderful things that have kind of happened out of it. So I was talking to another artist today and how people who couldn't normally come to regular classes or workshops because of distance, like travel distance, now can attend. And because some of the courses are cheaper than they would be in person, that it's allowing some people the ability to take courses where maybe they wouldn't have been able to afford to take courses before.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
So if you look hard enough for the good things, you'll find them.
No, that's a good point for sure.
It's definitely not easy. It is a learning curve, and yeah, it's yeah, for here, I don't know. Things don't look like they're going to be up and running in person um, until winter. Um, but who knows? Things change all the time.
That's true. Actually, I was just talking to my stepmom about that today, and whether or not, because usually they spend their summers out in BC, and just the information from one minute to the next and how it changes with whether or not you can or can't, and what social distancing is going to look like, and how many people you can socialize with, and where you're allowed to be. It's all changing all the time.
Yes. Yeah. So I was organizing a project, doing like a positive graffitiing project out in Stony Plain, and that's changed like a few different times in the way that we can do things, and then when we get that figured out, then different things change and lift, and yeah, there's lots of different things happening. So good thing I can usually figure it out and adapt quite easily, but yeah, it can be a little bit strange. So I'm just painting along here. I try to figure out the areas around the face or the main features. So here I'll just bring it up a little bit closer so that you can see that I've been trying to paint in the forehead, the sides of the face, the in-between areas between the facial features, more so than the actual features themselves. I just kind of put some marker lines in there for some space. And let's see yours, Emma.
I am trying to fill in with lots of like loose little lines, but I have been looking for the darkest parts of the image. So often like I'll find little ways of connecting them to one another, so they're still being put down in relation to. But right now I'm just looking for the darkest parts and not making them as dark as they will be in the end, but blocking those out to start.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a great way to go about it.
As always, I love playing and experimenting with lines.
Yes. I still can't get over that really wonderful line in Picasso's shirt that I did in that portrait episode on Picasso, where we talk about our favorite artist. That is my favorite line so far in all the episodes. If a line could win an award, it would be that line.
That would be the line.
Yeah.
We could summarize the show in one line. That's the one.
Yes. The one in his shirt. What else? What is your favorite part about like Madonna's image? Like when you're painting her, or like what do you think makes an iconic image of Madonna? Or what makes you think of Madonna?
What I love about Madonna is not necessarily like an aesthetic thing or a choice. Like I think she's a babe and I think she has a really powerful look. But I saw this thing a long time ago now And she's talking about how she never lets like all of the good things that people are saying about her go to her head, because then you start to rely on that validation, and she doesn't want to let the negative things have like any impact, so she just blocks it all out.
I've heard something similar too. That if you're willing to let in the good criticism, like the pats on the back, then you're also as susceptible to allowing in the negative criticism.
Yeah. So she was saying she'd just rather be like removed from all of that. And I don't know, I just think she's such a, like, I don't have words. I have so much respect for her.
Yeah.
Like, as an artist and as an entertainer, and just the way she always, like, I feel like she will always be relevant.
Yeah, I believe she's like 60.
I don't know, but she's amazing.
Yeah, she's wonderful and amazing.
So,
And
yeah, when I think of Madonna, I just think of like being a total badass and like leading the same as the title we had for our Picasso episode, leading the way.
yeah,
Like I feel like she does that unapologetically.
agreed. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I really like all the things that she's done. She's really changed culture, like her music videos, how she presented herself, was just never seen before or not in that way, right? And then it changed like a lot of things. I took a sex ed course in university. I kind of just audited it with my sister. My sister was registered in it, and so I sat in on the course, and it was really wonderful. But I sat in on one day where they were basically talking about half the class how Madonna changed the world's view on female sexuality. And that was like half of a whole lecture class. I was like, that's pretty
amazing.
Cool. It was a very good class and very riveting. And everybody was enjoying it. And that class was packed. Like, everybody wanted to be in that class.
Yeah. I want to be in that class.
Bunch of 20-year-olds. Yeah. It was good. It was a really good class.
That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. So I learned a lot more about Madonna that day. And she's quite extraordinary. But I think it's also like my age. I kind of like grew up listening to her. My mom loved her. Or loves her. And she sang like Santa Baby as a Christmas song. It was my favorite.
My favorite Christmas albums, not that this is like, oop, that's way more ink than I meant to put down. Babyface has a killer Christmas album, and Aaron Neville, and it does not feel like Christmas until I'm at my dad's house and I hear those two Christmas albums. That's when Christmas happens.
Babyface?
Babyface, yeah, he's an R&B musician.
Okay, yes, okay. I get him in like, is this right? You can correct me, but is it Seal? Him and Seal I get mixed up?
I don't know if that's who you get mixed up, but I know.
Does that sound reasonable though? Like, is that a proper thing to get mixed up? Or am I thinking of somebody completely different?
I have no idea, but what I do know is I totally got a giant blotch of ink on her eye, and I'm not having it.
Oh no.
I know, sorry, Madonna.
Can you, is it resolvable or?
we'll see later on if we can turn it into beautiful oops.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I always talk to my kiddos about beautiful oops, so we're just gonna let that hang out for a bit. I'll show you.
Mine are always like happy accidents.
It started seeping through the page. I got some of the paper caught in my nib.
She's got a big black eye. It's gonna be a happy oops.
Sorry?
It's gonna be a happy oops.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure it'll work out just fine.
I appreciate the vote of confidence. I do not
You always pull it together.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, so the other thing, like, there are so many different things that I could talk about, like, till, the entire night, really. About...
Your jam, man. You take it and run with it.
About how artists can really change culture and perception of things. So one of my favorites is I was even talking to one of my kids about it the other night, that Santa Claus, his costume, or Saint Nick, or whatever you want to think of,
used like the iconic red and white.
Yeah. It used to be green, and he used to be like this elf thing, and it was Norman Rockwell had a contract with Coca-Cola, and he made it red and white, and he hired a specific actor, well, basically a community member, to come and sit for him to do his portrait, and turned that guy into Santa Claus. And that's the Santa Claus we now know and recognize, and try to look for in finding, like, mall Santa Clauses, or like whenever little kids draw Santa Claus, they're basically just repurposing Norman Rockwell's version of Santa Claus. And then I always I took a Representations of Jesus course once upon a time in my life, but it didn't even cover the visual representations of Jesus, which is what I thought I had signed up for. So that was an interesting class, not what I thought. Literary representations of Jesus.
That would be a lot of reading.
It wasn't as bad.
No?
No. But it, because I really liked how there was the development of printing press, and Albrecht Dürer did a bunch of prints, monoprints and etchings, lots of etchings. And it was actually him drawing himself that is the image that people now use as the image of Christ.
I didn't know that.
Albrecht Dürer, yeah. So
I did not know that.
Yes, I know that's a hot topic. It gets a little bit sticky. Now we've like dismantled Santa Claus, and now we're looking at Jesus. But look it up, Albrecht Dürer. You'll see he had this long like beard. He was a white guy.
His gorgeous hair.
Yeah, he had gorgeous hair. Yeah, he was. I don't know if he was good looking or he just made himself look good, because we can do that. That's not an artistic license, right?
And that's the thing with his, like, lots of his portraits were visual arguments about trying to raise the status of the artist. So of course he's going to make himself look as good as possible in them.
And then he also, when he's doing stuff for the church, he puts himself in as, So that's really cool. And then
that's super cool.
And then if we look at like Obama.
Can I tell you a story about Dürer before we talk about Obama?
Yes, please.
So
we'll come back to Obama.
When I go to Paris, I always end up going to the Cabinet de Dessin at the Louvre.
Yeah.
So it's like their giant collection, which belongs to the people of France, and you can like submit a letter to the director or whatever, and give reasoning for why well, I don't know. I'm not going to get into all of this right now. But the last 2 times that I was there, got to handle like 500-year-old Albrecht Dürer prints.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And did you know we have some original Dürers at the University of Alberta in their gallery collection, and you can request to see them too. I think we have 2 or 3 of them, maybe more.
I
It's been a
know
while.
that they have a huge print collection.
Yeah,
I've
we
gone
have
to see
Dürers in there.
those. I didn't know that there were jurors in there. I've seen a few really cool Asian woodblock prints
Yeah.
that, yeah, were pretty amazing. Yeah, if you are going to the university for fine arts for some damn reason, make sure that you take a curatorial studies class, because then you get access to so many cool things to draw. I tell you, it's a
Yeah.
fantastic course. So wherever you are going to university, try to take a curatorial studies class so that you get to do cool stuff.
Well, that and the Bruce Peel, like the Special Collections Library, they've got tons. If you took a class that touched on like early modern print culture, there's
I
tons of
did.
it I feel like you would really enjoy down there too.
I did take literature classes that
Yeah.
allowed me access to those. I don't know exactly why.
Well,
But
I don't
they
think
have
like I
like
don't
a
know-
collection of pop-up books. Did you know that? Like crazy old pop-up books.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I think that's why we
There's
were
so
down
much
there.
cool stuff. Or the Rawlinson Rare Book Collection at the U of A in like one of the medical buildings.
Okay.
We have a copy of one of Leonardo da Vinci's facsimiles of his anatomical studies.
What? How do I not
Yeah.
know that?
Yeah,
Damn it.
we need to, and I don't know if you need to be alumni or a student to like. I'm pretty sure if you have
Yeah.
like
If
you
you're an
submit a
alumni, you
request
can
or
go to the
whatever.
library and stuff like that.
Yeah. But they
So-
have like special fancy gloves, but sometimes they don't want you to wear them because you might accidentally do more damage with them than without them. And it's this like oxygen tight, like if there's ever a fire, that room won't burn.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was so much cool stuff. But these
Awesome.
beautiful giant facsimiles of his anatomical studies. Like
That's
you'd lose
super-
your mind.
That sounds super cool.
Yeah. This is over. We should have like a discovering the art gems in Edmonton, like scavenger hunt date with each other.
I know. We should just go around. Yes. See, we have reasons to make instructional videos and stuff like that. We do. I might. We'll figure it out. I might convince you. Okay, so going to museums and everything, and I went to the National Portrait Museum in Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
and saw the Obama portrait.
You actually saw those in real life?
Yes. Okay, so this is where people, artists, can really change culture and also really establish an icon, like that's really representational of an idea or of what a person kind of represents. So we have Madonna here. I don't even know who the artists, like the photographers or the videographers are who did her film or her not her films, her music videos. I'm sure that's probably something that I should know, just as a person who loves culture and that.
We should look into that. We should have done that before the show,
Yes,
but
sorry.
for special homework,
Yeah.
let's do it after.
And then, so Conde Wiley did a portrait of Obama that is fantastic and magnificent, and I'll come back to that. But even before that, Shepherd Fairy. Is that right? Am I saying that right?
I
Let
don't
me
know.
look it
I'll
up.
keep listening.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to say it wrong. Yeah, Shepherd Fairy did the Hope poster of Obama for his campaigning. So it's the red and blue
Like the
silk
iconic.
screen. Yeah. So that like really solidified, and like when you think of Obama, that's what you thought of every single
Yeah.
time. Now when you think of Obama, you now think of the Conde Wiley painting where he's sitting in that chair and it's all that greenery kind of wallpapery stuff around him. So I went to the National Portrait Gallery 2 years before that painting came out. And that place was fairly dead. A little bit more lively than maybe a museum here, slightly, but not really. And then I went when they had the painting up, and it had been up for a while, like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months or something like that. It had already been out, so it wasn't like brand new. And there was still a lineup of 70 people, because I counted. There was over 70 people in a lineup, not to see it, but to take selfies in front of it. Because it is this, okay, at first I was mad as an artist because I was expecting this painting to be more magnificent when I see it, because paintings are always better in life. Like the colors are always better. There's all this layering and everything else. But he's actually maybe a genius. I'm not sure. He designs his paintings. They look just as good on your phone or on a screen as they do in real life. They look the same, which doesn't happen. Like if you take a picture of a Chuck Close painting of, oh, what's his name? Clinton. So Chuck Close did a huge painting of Clinton. If you take a picture of it, it dulls it down. Like you don't get the color, the texture, the size of it, or anything else.
Yeah.
If you take a picture of a Conde Wiley painting, it looks the same as when you are standing right in front of it.
Like, is it the colors he uses?
They're flat. They're like, there's no layering. Like the way that the color hits the surface. Okay, so let's get a little technical. So you've got paint layers on top of a surface, right? And then the light goes through all the paint layers, hits the canvas, and bounces back at your eye. So if you have multiple layers of transparent and opaque types of paint, then all of those layers, the particles and stuff like that, catches the light and sends it to your eye. And that's why you're like, oh my goodness, that's so magnificent. And you can't capture the color the same in a photograph. It just doesn't work. It doesn't translate. His are flat. So the light bounces off, it hits the back of the color, like there's no layering. It looks like, it's almost kind of like a paint by numbers. And the colors are like, I don't know, out of the tube. So there's not a lot of like, if there's a green painted on one side of the painting, the green on the other side of the painting is exactly the same. There's no variation because they're not being like mixed. They're coming out of a tube. So it's the same. Does that make sense?
You're making me want to like do that.
It's wild. Like okay, wait a second. The other thing is that he leaves space for people to take selfies in front of his paintings. There is physical compositional space for you to stand there and take a picture of yourself with the painting where you will both look awesome. And in some of them, they're designed to have two people on either side of the figure. and then you just add to the composition, and then it looks even better with
Like,
you
is
taking a
this just with
selfie.
portraits of the Obamas, or is this with like any portraits that he
Any
does? Like,
of
is
them
this?
I've seen. He had like they had a collection of his stuff there, so there was more than one. I think there were five. It Yeah, it's nuts. Maybe I didn't see all five of them there. Maybe I saw some somewhere else,
No, but
but in a different
I'm like,
museum.
color me intrigued. Like, now I need to see those in person.
Okay, at
Not
first
obviously right now because
I was
COVID,
mad.
but
As a portrait artist, at first I was mad because, because.
yeah,
And then I sit on it and I think about it for like a year, and I'm just like, I don't know. I see what he's doing, that tricky bastard, and
yeah,
stuff like that. But then I'm like, maybe he's a genius.
yeah. Because people do like what you were describing. I was mad because last time, I was in Rodin's garden in front of the Thinker,
Yeah.
and I was sitting there drawing it for maybe around an hour. And I can't tell you how many people came with their friends, did the pose in front of it. Some of them would like look up to make sure they were like using the right hand or the same leg or whatever.
Yeah.
But more than half of them didn't even look at it to make sure they were doing the same pose and then just walk away without
Yeah.
even looking at it.
Yes.
I don't know. It bothers me because I'm like, what are you even taking a picture of?
But
Like, that's not a memory.
wait a second.
Like, that's a
Would those
checklist.
people have even gone to a museum if they
Well, it's like
couldn't even do that?
it's the garden of the museum, but the ticket is cheaper to go just in the garden than it is to go inside.
And so for all these people that were at the National Museum, there were people there that probably would have never gone to an art gallery in their life. Like I was looking at people, and based on how they were talking about the artwork, based on that there were like families, it wasn't just like people who were interested in the arts. These were people, and I would also listen to their stories. Like, some of them traveled across the country as a road trip. That was their like final destination. So they were doing road trips across the country as like an educational thing for their families, and yet their vernacular sounded like they didn't have much education. So like,
But I think
it's
portraits
so
like that, they're
interesting.
doing so much work and they represent so much that it's
Yes.
not, most people aren't appreciating those as an artwork. They're appreciating those as a statement.
Yes,
And
it's
like,
like
as they should,
a
obviously,
national
should.
monument.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the same people who would probably go to see Niagara Falls, or I don't know, what else do we have here? I don't know. The Rocky Mountains, like, as if it's almost like a part of the nation or culture. So, but yes. And then don't even get me started on nations and cultures and art. But
I don't know. I think that's so interesting. Like, if they were made with that purpose in mind, because then that's like, then you're starting to talk about like the dissemination of that art. Like, I don't know. I think
this guy was a lot smarter than I give him credit for, or he fell across something like a happy accident. But I don't think so, because I've seen his other artwork, and like he's doing some intentional what the hell did I just do there? Intentional, like, cultural changing things, like,
that's amazing.
but also like there's a difference between like changing culture and then seeing that there is a change happening, and then helping that change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he sees that everybody's taking selfies. He knows that like phones are part of our culture now, that everybody has a camera, and that more people see art on Instagram and stuff like that online than they do in person. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think back to like Picasso and the way that he changed art and culture. Like we were talking about how he even changed style. Like I didn't even know that he worked with Coco Chanel to create, like, help her in establishing a line of clothing. Like not her line of clothing, but like had some influence in fashion. And then it was just that he saw that there was a need and there was a growing change happening, and so went for it and helped promote it, and yeah, wound up doing some magnificent things because of it, changing what how we see art and what can be done in art. So thanks, Picasso and Madonna and Conde Wiley and Albert Dürer and Norman Rockwell. It's a weird cast of characters.
An open letter of appreciation.
That's right.
I decided to just fill in the back to help give her hair some shape. Oh, I love that, Daphne. That's looking awesome.
Oh, there's something going on there. Not exactly sure what it is yet. Yeah, keep in mind, it's hard to paint and have in-depth conversation at the same time.
It's fun though. Just a heads up, it is 8:47.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really like enjoying this. You're gonna...
Sorry?
I'm really enjoying this.
That painting?
Yeah. I'm enjoying
I'm gonna show you mine. I don't know about that beautiful oops the eyeball.
Oh yeah. No, I like the oops eyeball.
Yeah, it's not so bad, hey? I feel like I could go back and rework more.
Do you want a constructive criticism? I would look at the section of her cheek, the like little portion. No, the other side.
Oh, here?
Yeah, that you might want to add a little bit of tonal value there or something.
Yes. It's just well, I guess there's a teensy bit in this image.
Yeah. But it might also like help the composition.
Yeah.
Because it flips forward if you don't have anything on there.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, man.
No problem. Portraits are my jam. I need to fix it.
Whoop.
Oh, this is difficult.
What is your favorite portrait that you've seen in person?
There is a portrait at the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. that moved me to absolute tears. Maybe because it was unexpected. I'm not sure. It's of what's his name? Christopher Reeves in his wheelchair, but he's looking down on you from above, and it's done on raw canvas with like a dry brush method.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the composition and the way that it's presented, and it just like caught me off guard, and it just blew me away. It was so powerful because of the message that it conveyed. Like, here's this man who was Superman and now is confined to a wheelchair, yet is still so strong. Yeah, at that time when it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just incredibly strong and still like giving back to the community type of thing. And it's like was incredible. Like just, and the painting that he was next to is like Clinton and like other presidents.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting. But I think it's those like where you are in your life and then how you come across something, and then that determines how meaningful it is to you, I think.
Yeah. Even as I asked that, like, I don't have one in mind that, yeah, I don't even know how I would answer that question.
I think mine might be like if I ask you what was the most notable painting that you've ever seen, you could probably tell me that, right?
I feel like it would take me a long time to decide.
Just in life, or
Yeah.
maybe you haven't seen it yet,
Maybe I haven't.
which is totally normal. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a couple that are like, I'll have to find out. This is like a personal Emma and Daphne conversation. Remind me to talk to you about this later. I'll have to find out what it was.
And if I think that it's any good or show worthy, don't worry, everybody. I will make her tell us.
No. No. It's not gonna happen. It's just you know when you have like you're confronted with who you are and what you're doing in your life, and like everything comes crashing down all around you all at once.
Yes, I absolutely do.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah, I've had those experiences. Yeah, I've had some amazing, wonderful experience. Okay, so this is how it's going so far. I don't know. Can you
She's
see it?
such a babe.
I know, hey?
You realize? Don't forget her little beauty mark.
Oh yeah.
It's not Madonna without that.
Oh yes. I almost forgot.
Yeah, that's looking really good. Sorry, I'm so selfish. I was looking at it in my screen with you there, and now I'm looking at it on the YouTube screen because there's a bit of delay. I'm really liking it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Is there any last kind of parting thought or anything that you're wanting to make sure we squeeze in before we start to wrap things up?
That if you are missing going out and looking at artwork or culture or anything like that, remember that there's lots of outdoor art that you can visit out in the world. Wherever you are, there's usually murals and things like that. So just get out and get hunting down some art, I guess, would be my advice. And
things are starting to open back up too, so if you can go safely and continue to do the whole social distancing thing,
yeah,
just do what feels good for you. But yeah, there's lots outside to see.
Yes, because the Edmonton Art Gallery right now, so today's May 29th, 2020, has the Rembrandt show on that opens next week to the public. So I will be going to that because I think that it's worth it. And they do have an online virtual tour as well. And a lot of galleries are doing that right now, where you can go online and take a virtual tour of them. I think that people have really been working their butts off to jump ahead and get their technology poop in a group. That's one of the things I've heard that like twice this week, that some people are saying that they believe that COVID or the pandemic, world pandemic, has actually pushed our culture, like globally, to where it should probably be, and that it wasn't before because of lack of laziness. So, like, how often do we not say we'd really love to put the galleries into a virtual tour and stuff like that, but then lack the I don't know, drive to go and do that because we get busy in our everyday stuff, and that maybe this has pushed things a little bit further forward out of necessity. So
well, all the back end stuff that you don't get paid to do, and so you can't find time to do when you're run off your feet busy because you're juggling 50 other things.
Well, and what would be more fun? Throwing an event at a gallery or making sure that people could see it online?
Yeah.
That's more fun. So that's what we do, right? Well, you take away the parties, and now we got nothing else to do but call the programmer, call the like,
we have to do our homework now,
advertise and stuff, and we're like, okay, go ahead with this project now. Now I have time to listen to you. Now I have time to sort this out, because like we're both like revamping stuff on the internet. That's why we're so not happy today.
It's the worst.
It is the worst.
The worst. But I'm so happy it's getting done.
Yes, but would it have gotten done if you weren't?
No.
No.
I have been trying to redo my website for months, but when you're doing stuff every single day.
I have been trying to do more online tutoring and courses for the last 2 years. And now I am finally like forced to do it. So anyways, if you need private tutoring, that's what I do on Mondays. Monday afternoons. Tutoring with Daphne. And you're getting your website all revamped, all spiffy new and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be great.
Coming soon.
Yay! Yeah. So should we hold up our shenanigans one more time? I don't feel like it's done. I need to keep working on it.
I botched her face a bunch.
Oh, where am I here? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so
so it'll be great if and when we can reach our goals on Patreon so that we can have multiple cameras.
Yes. Oh, I had gotten some new ideas for that. So we can totally do multiple cameras, because I had this meeting today with different places a different place that I instruct at, and talking about doing more online classes through different organizations. And I know how to do multiple cameras, but we need multiple cameras, and I could really use a mic, people. We could use some mics. So please, if you'd like to support us, check out our Patreon page. And also, if you're not able to support us financially, you could just support us on social media, and you could share our posts and share with other people who knows, maybe your sharing will lead to more financial support for us, so that we can get some better equipment and keep the lights on.
Make this a better show for you.
Yes. So excellent. Thanks, Emma. I love being on the show with you. It is the highlight of my day today.
Yeah, I love our Fridays together.
Yes.
So thank you. Have a fabulous rest of your evening, and happy creating, everyone.
Yes. Take care.